Happy New Year. We haven't met or spoken in 2026.
Been a while.
Yes.
Since he finished work with the committee that investigated the Olarin Waju death, we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him.
Yeah, I mean, work on that front.
Yes,
has come to an end. So I'm sure he's doing other things.
But before he gets into the real issue, the real reason why.
Yes, we'll ask him why.
Are you impressed with the work the GBIMC have done so far?
The simple answer is no. And I'll be disappointed if you continue to call them IMC. These are the hijackers. They've hijacked it. Actually, they don't even have any legal mandate to be in office. Their tenure expired before the so-called extension.
Yeah.
So, really, they're out of office. If you want to extend it, you extend before that tenure expires.
Yeah.
Once it expires, they're out. But it's Ghana. We don't go by law. We go by lawlessness. Because really, their tenure has ended. And it ended without any extension.
Renewal, yeah.
It ended completely. And then somehow in Ghana it's allowed to continue. No. Remember the United Real Madrid deal some time ago when they were going to transfer the goalie?
Yeah.
They missed it by a few seconds.
Yeah.
Done. But these guys' tenure expired completely. The 3 months,
3 months, 1 month,
and then the extension of 1 month also expired. So what are they talking about? Any extension? The tenure expired, and there was a vacuum. And then so from where comes this so-called extension when their tenure had already expired? So I don't call them IMC. I call them the hijackers.
Right.
Yes. And I'll be very disappointed if you continue to call them IMC because legally they don't have any mandate. Because that 1 month extension from the 3 months did expire completely. It wasn't extended.
Yeah.
So they were out of office.
Yeah. But they've been giving a new 3 months.
Yeah, so that's
okay. That's the point that Ekow is making.
Yeah. Because they by mandate they had 3 months. And then they could ask for extension. Even that was not communicated to the public.
Yeah.
When they were done with the 3 months and they needed extension, they didn't communicate with the public. That's very much disrespect of the public interest because whatever they're doing there, they're being paid by the public coffers.
Yeah.
Okay, so show some respect to the public. While we're on the committee, I made sure I made intermittent disclosures into the public domain because we're being paid by the taxpayers' money. So you have to show respect to the public. So that should have continued. I remember the minister at the time he inaugurated the committee, the GBIMC at the time, said that there should be intermittent disclosure into the public domain. It shouldn't be done by them, that they will hire somebody to do it and all that. Yeah. It hasn't happened. I was hoping that you'll be taking that job. So then the 3 months expired, and then they did the 1 month extension. They asked for the 1 month extension without telling the public. Anyway, I got about it because I met a few of the membership of the IMC at an event in early January, and I was told about it. But then, if you want to extend, you extend before that 1 month extension expires. Yeah. So once it expires, they're out of office. So I don't know what it's about extension. It's lawlessness. Yeah. It's unfortunate that even our lawmakers turn out to be the lawbreakers. So I don't recognize them as being in office. I see that this is a hijacking session. Right. And then, I heard you earlier this morning saying that they've been asked to continue for 3 months. Yeah.
Yes,
it's actually about 5 months. Because if you check the schedule, it's till April, right? And then they're talking about the roadmap, May and June for elections. Who do you think is going to conduct the elections? It's them.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
So they're deceiving the public. It's not for 3 months. They're going to be there till May, June, and probably even beyond. Who knows? If somebody hijacks something, would you go by whatever they say? You can't give them any credence to
Senior Ekow,
whatever they say.
Why do you think they would want to hold on to their position? Why do you think there's a seeming hijacking of that boxing entity?
Well, I don't know about Samuel Captain, his administration and all that, but I've talked to him several times on the phone. I've never met him, because I've been trying to write about him. long before I wrote my recent book. I mean, at least the past 6 years, I've been chasing him. And he's kind of he likes to stay in
the shadows.
The shadows. And he, at some point after I pushed him, at least he was very nice enough to be picking my calls. Because it's, at some point, it got to be like a harassment. Because I thought that story needed to come out. He was the first person to sign Azumah Nelson. Yeah. And that story hadn't come out, the circumstances under which he signed him and all that, that tenure before Ringcraft took over and all that. I thought it had to be preserved for the public domain, for people to learn. We read other people's textbooks when we were growing up. Yeah. I thought it was time to preserve that kind of history, that Ghanaian history, to be read by, school children and all that, to know. But he said at some point that he would do it himself and all that. So I've been talking with him, but I've never met him at all. I remember I was in the States when he was in charge at GBA.
Okay.
He got forced out. He had to be forced out.
Okay.
And it's seeming like this one is seeming to be the same thing because he's the head. Mm-hmm. So it's becoming characteristics of his administration that during his tenure, he's got to be forced out or he's not going. Right. That's one part of it. Mm. The other side of it is that the hijackers don't mean well. And I say this to say that there's conflict. Mm. And if you're the one who's supposed to put everything together and hand over, and you are conflicted already, and I'll cite an instance of the conflict. A promoter got, quote unquote, punished for a so-called misconduct. And then the president, the immediate past president of the same organization, got punished for the same offense but got a far less severe sentence. I mean, in terms of leadership, if the leader messes up, he's supposed to get a bigger stick. And that shows you the conflict. Yeah. And if you are the boss and we are going to a new, let's say a new dispensation, and you are rather conflicted, how can I trust that going forward you won't be conflicted even with the elections? That you're now going to bring your candidate in. A candidate, one of the leading candidate has his point man in on the committee. So that conflict will continue. And the fact that from the ministry side to the NSA side, they are promoting this lawlessness does not give me any hope, because they've been in office for 3 months. They didn't do anything of note. I mean, we were in office during our time for 21 working days. The volume of work we did far exceeds what they've done. In 3 months, they've done nothing. Extension of 1 month, nothing. And then the tenure expires. And you're saying extension. Based on what? When their term had already run out. So it's lawlessness. I thought I should point it out before we gloss over that fact.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, interesting perspective. Let's see. Let's see what happens when all of this ends, and we'll see what the elections will look like when it is ultimately done. Anyway, to the side. Ekow, just share with us why you are here this morning. I mean, we are here on a Tuesday morning doing the Lord's work, and you are here with us. What's the deal?
It's still a continuation of the Lord's work. I wanted to pass through sometime last week, but given the heavy schedule of the weekend activities and all that, so Tuesday is much cooler. It's just a continuation of the preservation of our history. I published an eBook earlier this year, sometime early last month, The Making of Azumah Nelson, and it's a national project. I wanted to do it sometime last year. Fifi Bansin was in on it. Gary Alsmith, Ray knew about it. We're going to do it at some point. Even Gary wanted us to launch it here, and Fifi thought we should do it even bigger and all that. We tried, and it didn't work out. So I thought, okay, there's a small window. Once it passes, I won't be able to do this. So let me put it on eBook. After all, this is the digital age.
Yes.
So it's live and it's available for sale, $9.99. It's available for especially generation to be able to access it. You can read through it on your phone and all that. But I thought, following that, I wanted to stress on the importance of proper, sound, selfless administration, as a way of making the foundation strong in order to for us to be able to produce a production line of world champions, because that's the whole point. Not just the making of Azumah Nelson. There are so many lessons in the book to teach about selfless leadership and how to be able to continue to sustain, not just get a world champion, but to sustain the world championship production line, as happened during the time of Azumah Nelson. At some point, we had Azumah Nelson and Anaya Akunedu, both as world champions. At some time, we had Ikote and Afrikote at the same time as world champions, and then in between we're only getting single world champions. But we have to get back there, and so I made sure I went to great lengths to chronicle all of that in the book. And I wanted to, now I'm about to pass the torch. And there's no better place to make that announcement or do that passing of the torch than this place.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that because you're here. I wanted to come here and do that and even make that announcement.
Okay.
I'm heartbroken that Ray has not taken up the part about going all out to fight for the little guy. Somebody like Wahid Omar, for instance. We are going to Glasgow. The last time we went to Glasgow, he won bronze and he's still not been paid to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been fighting. I did that with Jesse Latte when he went to Australia, and sports minister at the time, Isiama, wasn't liking it at all. Eventually, I was able to get his money for him. Wahid Omar still doesn't have his money. And, it's time for me to pass on the torch about that kind of fight to Ray. And, Ray knows that, and he hasn't taken up that, that willingness to fight for the little guy. I'm talking boxing. We need more help in boxing than anything else.
That's true.
And Ray's the guy, without a fire, even this morning was giving you a hard time. So put the feet of the administrators to the fire, especially regarding, very few dues to the little guy. And who's going to do that fight? So I'm passing the torch officially to Ray.
I gladly accept.
To do that, to be fighting for the little guy.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be doing less and less and less of sports down the line. I'll be branching off. I will still be writing a lot more books. But in terms of fighting for the little guy, I have to really pass the torch. And I have to do that officially by passing on to Ray. And if he fails, that we should hit him. We should hit him where it will really feel hard. And then even on boxing itself, this is the place. This is the media organization that is front and center on boxing. When it comes to content, I listen to a lot of media stations and I check out a lot of media platforms. When it comes to boxing, it registers about 0.0001 on average. But here, and last time I was here with Kosi, and I was really pleasantly surprised about his involvement in boxing.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Kosi is very involved.
No idea
in boxing.
So I was like, oh, this is the house. We got Kosi, we got Ray, we got Amanda. Where is he now?
Kawawa, yeah.
So I was thinking, oh, okay, that's the house. That's the media house. We have Kosi, we have Ray, we have Kawawa.
Yeah. And Eustace too. Eustace loves his boxing too.
So in terms of really sports advocacy, boxing advocacy, or boxing production and all that, it's this house. And nobody can dispute it in Ghana. It's an irrefutable fact. So if I'm passing the torch, then I might as well make the announcement right here on this particular, through this medium that please continue the work. I recognize your contribution to the boxing narrative in Ghana. But for you guys, it will probably register far less. Yes, because I listen to a lot of sports stations. You virtually hear nothing about boxing. Nothing. except there's a scandal. Then, of course, we hear all that. But boxing stories behind the scenes, doing features and all that, is always Sporty. So please carry it on. I officially passed the torch to Sporty, knowing that Kosi, you said Eustace?
Yes.
Ray is here, and Kawawa.
Yeah.
I mean, no sporting organization in Ghana today comes even a third of the way close to Sporty. And I was listening this morning, you're saying you're global. Of course you're global. You're not just local, you're global everywhere. So I'm honored to be here to be able to pass the torch officially.
Wonderful. Let's Ray, okay, do you have any comments before we talk a bit about
we accept the torch,
yes.
And we promise to make sure Ghana boxing gets to the height it used to be before.
That's right.
You know, hopefully during our time we'll begin to see an era where new world champions would emerge.
That's
and
right.
we'll make sure we keep the fire burning.
Yes, and especially yours particularly too, to fight for the little guy.
I'll
That
do
advocacy.
I'll do that.
Great, great.
Ekow, you're talking about the book. So it's out on sale.
That's right.
Okay.
It's been out on sale since 8 January.
Okay.
Yes.
And it talks about the making of Azumah Nelson. Just take us through how it all came together and why you decided to tell this story.
Yeah. Well, Azumah, the product is known around the world. Everybody knows Azumah Nelson all over the world. I mean, I remember when I went to get my visa to go to Ekow fight, 97, right? I get there.
Which of the fights?
It was originally it was supposed to be in New York, and then it was switched. The opponent switched, so he got to fight Jose Luis, one of the most dangerous opponents ever. Originally supposed to take place in New York and ended up taking place in Foxwoods. At this morning I was listening to you talk about casino. It took place at the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go to the embassy. First question. Mind you, I'm going for an Ekow fight. First question, how's the professor? So I smiled and said he's doing very well. That was the end of the interview.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes. That was it.
Wow.
So I was giving my ticket to go make the payment at the time, go make payment, go and come back at 1 and get it. That was the interview. See the impact of Azumah Nelson.
Yes.
Yeah.
No question about anything else, about nothing else. Just how's the professor? That was it. So, and I've been in the States where I've been around the Spanish, the Spanish people are the bedrock of boxing.
Yes.
Once they found out I come from Ghana, they're like, hey, Azumah Nelson, yeah. And of course, Ekow is also highly regarded there. But the impact of Azumah Nelson among the base, the sporting boxing base, is known. So the product is known already. But the people behind the scenes, there are a lot of people that have worked hard to get Azumah to the championship. And that story had not been told. So I spent a lot of time, even from the last day I launched the other book at the boxing Emporium.
Yes.
From that very night, I started chasing that story. And that story was hiding in the bosom of me, Amaka.
The voice of sports.
Okay.
It was hiding in his bosom. So I had to keep, getting into the treasure room and getting a little bit here, a little bit there. And, finally, once our work was done at the committee level, I continued to pursue it, and I got it eventually. So shout out to Niamaka and Matthew. But for him, the story will never have come out. There are a lot of people that helped. I'll give you an instance. Dr. Bad Planche. 3 days to the fight, the Wilfredo Gomez fight. Mind you, Azumah Nelson had gone to the first fight with Sanchez and lost. So he had another opportunity. 3 days to the fight, Azumah Nelson can't sleep. He can't eat. He's sick. 3 days to the fight in San Juan, Puerto Rico. How are you going to go beat Wilfredo Gomez? Sick.
Sporty FM.
At the time, well, I don't know about, the beast like, Nathan. Maybe they didn't hustle much.
Yeah.
At the time, the Shehu Shagari had deported 1 million Ghanaians from Nigeria. At the time, there was drought in the country. The Akosombo Dam was operating below the capacity.
Okay.
There were bushfires.
So this was in the 80s, early 80s, right?
Oh, yes,
83.
84.
83, 84.
Yeah, but it
Because
started.
I've heard my parents, my mom has talked about it a number of times.
And you couldn't even find bread. You had to trek to go, join queues for long hours to get bread. It was difficult. Yeah. And Azumah was bearing all that pressure. Mind you, he had fought for the prisons before. Mind you, was president at the time, was head of state Jerry John Rawlings, who used to be the officer of boxing for the Air Force and all that. So these were military guys. And his commander-in-chief, reposed a lot of trust in him. In spite of all the problems here, he was sent out there. They gave him a lot of support, but for strong governmental support, it would never have happened, in spite of how great Azumah was as an athlete. Then Azumah is feeling this pressure from all of his people, sleeping in the dark and all that. He was bearing all that. He was a true hero. It's not just thinking about the fight. He was thinking about all of these issues, and it got to him. Psychologically, it got to him. He couldn't sleep, he couldn't eat, and all that. So Dr. Bad Planch figured it out, and he told Niamaka Amatefio, this is not physical. It's not physical. It's psychological. Because they were worried. How are we going to get a world champion? President Jerry John Rawlings is waiting for you. You think if anything went wrong, you could come back? They probably would have stayed in the San Juan and naturalized. So what are we going to do? And he said, it's psychological. I'll talk to him. So they used Ghana's superfood to solve the problem. Ghana's superfood of all time? Gari.
Gari, I see.
Yeah. So I don't know in what fashion it was dispensed, but they convinced him that once he took Gari, it will go away.
Yeah.
He bought into it, took Gari in whatever form it was dispensed, and boom, right away, now here's Azumah Nelson clearing all the areas of the food he couldn't clear, sleeping well, and all that. And that did the trick. So if you didn't have the right kind of people around him at the time, it wouldn't have happened. And all of these things, contributions that they've made, really that story has not been told. Their share, their due has not been paid them. And so there are so many other people who contributed, and I put all of that in the book. One RSM ED used to be an instructor at the military, the Teshi Military Academy. He was drafted into the team. Then one Mrs. Kwaukume, she was the government dietitian. She was checking any food that Azumah would eat had to be checked. So they put a national team in charge. Wow. Even though he had Raincraft, the state took over. So then Amaka Amatefio was made the national coordinator for the project. Then Mrs. Kwaukume, then Dr. Plant was then at Kolebu, who was drafted. So Kolebu, shout out to Kolebu. They helped in the
Azumah story.
So,
wonderful.
So RSM ED, then Mrs. Kwaukume, then Dr. Plant, and then of course Niamaka Amatefio. And they have all played their part, and I'll go into great detail what parts they actually played. And then of course DF Annan, and even at some point they had to go to San Juan when the fight was being delayed, and they tried to put his aspirations on hold. Wilfredo Gomez fought his own countryman, and then they went to San Juan to take care of that. And they even went to Orwell. There's a village in Ohio, in the middle of nowhere, where it's like a training camp for Duncan's fighters.
Yes.
Duncan, Niamaka Amatefio, and DF Annan, who at some point was acting as the head of state, went there and slept in the dormitory where the boxers were with Azumah Nelson. And I have to mention Rizzo Akwe Ado.
Okay.
He was also with him. He was like Azumah's sparring partner. He was a welterweight. So imagine Azumah Nelson, a featherweight, having a welterweight.
Yeah, I mean,
as a sparring partner.
Welterweights are feather up in.
That's right.
They are
so once he got in the ring with a featherweight, you are nobody.
Yeah.
So that's how he was prepared. And all of these guys have paid their dues, and I thought all of those stories have to be put together and put in the book for the young people to learn about. And then, more importantly for me, is the sound administration at the time, which accounted for the world championship that we got during the golden era with the Azumah and then Nana Yakunedu, Aikote, Afrikote. And I thought especially given what happened since last year and the stature of the helmsman. If we check the distinction between what happened at the past and now, we are joking. We have to elevate the stature of the helmsman in order to get back to that production line again of world champions.
Wow, interesting story. So what's the title of the book?
The Making of Azumah Nelson, a national project.
Wonderful. You did say that it was on Amazon, so obviously people can get.
Oh yes.
So people can get that.
And there are some pictures that this was the Ghana Airways. You know, have you seen Ghana Airways? Did you know about?
Of course,
I'm not checking. Just checking. Once upon a time, we had a Ghana Airways. This is the historic Ghana Airways that brought.
Yes, I mean, I saw loads of Ghana Airways.
I was just checking, I was just checking.
I saw loads of Ghana Airways. I
don't know about Ray.
I saw, of course, Ray did. I saw the demise of Ghana Airways too.
Okay,
this was in the noughties. This was what? Ray, when that happened? The mid-noughties.
Yeah, that's right.
Mid-noughties. So yeah, so this is the Ghana Airways flight there. For our listeners on the stream, you can find the pictures. I don't know if there are other pictures.
Oh, that's a whole lot more. About 20 pictures.
Okay, all right. We can. But are there? If people want physical copies of the book to buy, are they on sale in Ghana, or you can only get
Not
them?
yet. Not yet. Later in the year.
Okay, so this is. I recognize Azumah Nelson's young, pretty face.
Yes, and that's Mahama Idrisu on the right of Azumah Nelson. He was a PNDC member. And that's Nia Makamatefio on Azumah's left.
Yes.
And Satasa wearing suit right behind Amaka Amatefio.
Wow. Okay. For those who don't know, a bit of
the voice of
a bit
that's Nia Jinkwan, the late Nia Jinkwan, in the white to the left of Azumah Nelson, former WBC vice president. And there's Dr. Bad Plant to the right of Azumah in white.
In white, yes.
The man that saved the occasion.
Saved the occasion with Gary. I was just going to say that for those who didn't know, the
yes, that's Sam Nelson in the beginning. He was the deputy to Niamaka Amatefio. And he comes from the same tribe as Azumah Nelson.
Okay.
He's Samuel Nelson. Azumah is also Samuel.
Oh, I see.
And the Nelsons are straight from Brazil.
From Brazil, yes.
Yes.
So the people who who trace their roots to,
that's right.
Brazil.
And that's Amaka Amatefio at the top. To his left is Nia Jinkwa, and behind him is Dr. Planche.
Yes. And Amaka Amatefio was the Secretary of Sport.
That's right.
PNDC time.
That's right.
That's context for those who don't know.
That's
so
right.
if you hear stories of the time and you hear the name His Excellency Amaka Amatefio, and you wonder, what was he?
That's
he
right.
was the Secretary of Sport. That was the position.
And before then, he was the Greater Accra Regional Minister.
Okay. So in the current age, we'll say Sports Minister, but he was called the Secretary because the ministers in the PNDC time were called secretaries.
That's right.
Again, historical context for people who don't know. So that's that. This is an interesting picture. I see Amaka Amatefio in the suit behind him. Can always recognize him by the haircut. Yeah, let's have some more pictures. Azumah Nelson and Chairman Rawlings.
That's right.
Yes.
And then you see behind Azumah Nelson with that officer in the shades, there's Colonel Sharp.
Okay.
Colonel Johnny Sharp.
Okay.
He was a former chairman of the Ghana at the time, was Ghana Amateur Boxing Association.
Sporty FM.
I see. So it looks like the military at the time were very hands-on when it came to boxing.
That's right, because Amaka Amatefio was in charge of boxing at the amateur side in the Ghana Armed Forces.
Yes.
And then Daniel Francis Annan was in charge of boxing, professional side.
Okay.
And
Annan, who later became Speaker.
The Speaker of the Fourth Republic.
Yeah.
And then at the time, Jerry John Rawlings was in charge of boxing in the Air Force. This was the parade through the streets, the convoy.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
So
imagine the Black Stars winning the World Cup.
Yeah.
Exactly. The kind of euphoria that you can sense. That was what happened at the time.
I'm checking the fight record. This was in '84.
That's right.
This was when Azumah defeated
this
Wilfredo
happened
Gomez.
on December 18 when they arrived.
Okay.
He won the title on December 8. They spent some time in New York and then London getting ready to be received. You know, they had to prepare. And then so they arrived on December 18. And that's the airport. At the time, you could go onto the tarmac.
Yeah, but now you can't.
No. I mean, there was security in place to forbid that, but they ran over the security. The people were so happy.
Wow.
Their champion has won the battle and someone is coming and you say what? They just ran over the security and flooded the tarmac.
Again, when you layer in
That's
the social
Ghana's first world-winning coach.
Okay.
He formed the Akotoku Academy.
Academy, I see.
That's
I
right.
see.
Atuke Kote.
Okay.
That's
okay.
him.
That's Atuke Klote. Okay.
You see,
wonderful.
So this is my way of getting our people to know a little more about our history.
Oh yes,
you know,
I always say that.
It's important.
I always say that Ghana has got a very rich sporting history.
That's my opportunity to hang out with the man himself.
With the professor himself.
The professor, yes. His birthday last year. We spent it at Yausechi's place.
Okay. I mean, that's good. That's Ekow Asmah and Azumah Nelson. Let's see if we can have some more pictures. Interesting. So tell me, how the older pictures, right?
Yes.
How did you come by them?
I had to buy them.
Oh, wow.
I have to buy them at great expense, but I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. I've read other people's books growing up to become who I've become. So it's my turn to give back.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wonderful. So for our listeners, so you can get a copy of that book. You can get it on Amazon. Once you order it, it will come to wherever it is you are.
Yeah,
You can get it and read. And you're saying that in Ghana, you are putting together copies?
The paperback and the hardback later in the year.
Later in the year.
Yes.
Paperback, hardback, later in the year. Interesting. How long did they take this project from ideation to seeing a final copy? How long did it take you?
2019.
Okay, so
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah,
To go from ideation
that's right.
to scripting, everything.
Yeah.
And seeing the final copy. It took you 7 long years.
Yes.
What were the most challenging parts of putting this together?
Getting the story out of Niyamaka Soldier Man. You know, his dad was a soldier man. He also, and he said he wanted to be like his dad. He wanted to be a soldier man too.
soldier.
So when he got back from London immediately, he wanted to get into the lineage. And then, so try to get information out of, and don't forget, it's not just a soldier man, it's a lawyer. Try to get information out of a lawyer.
And a diplomat too.
A diplomat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the immediate past.
Honorary consul too. Is it Sweden?
Not just that. He was the head of the diplomatic corps.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and he knew my dad. My dad was an ambassador too. He was in the diplomatic corps. He knew it. So he's thinking like this small guy and this small boy trying to get information out of me. I mean, it wasn't easy at all. And it's not because he didn't want to. I mean, he's the head of the family too. If you go to his house,
I know.
on a daily basis,
I know.
Oh,
I know. He has.
That's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot.
And he's head of a very distinguished family.
That's right.
So
not just that, and then the diplomatic corps, and then the soldier people, and all that. So before it gets to your turn, I mean, you could be there for 3 hours. It will get to your turn, and you only get 2 minutes, and then you have to come another day. So it wasn't easy at all. But you know, I was determined to get the story.
Yeah.
And he was determined to help me get the story. So I'll have to put it on him. If he didn't want it to come out, it would never have come out.
I see.
You know.
Did you have any conversations with Azumah concerning this?
Oh yes. Azumah has known about it for at least 2 years. You've seen some of the pictures, a lot of the pictures. Even last year when we met at Yausechi's restaurant and in at the University of Ghana, his wife was also there.
Okay.
He even talked about me to his wife, that I'm an author and writing about his exploits and all that. So he is known about it. And you can't do anything Azumah Nelson-ish without Yausechi.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
It won't happen.
You can't. It won't
It's
happen.
impossible. Not just in Ghana, all over the world. Anybody who want to do anything with Azumah Nelson, you have to go through Yausechi. And I have to say shout out to Yausechi. But for him, this book wouldn't have come out.
Yeah.
Because even though I had the stories from Niyamaka, and there were certain aspects of it that I also talked to Azumah Nelson about,
Himself, yeah.
dating back to when Yao was at this restaurant, Delish was at the previous location. Yao gave me a lot of access to him. Azumah Nelson talked about, especially going back to the Sanchez fight, how he didn't know he was giving Sanchez's sparring partner to spar. And that's a way of getting intelligence.
Yes.
And he had no idea it was the sparring partner of Sanchez. And so he went all out, which was what they wanted. And so Sanchez was really prepared for that. And then they stole his mouthpiece. Even on the day of the fight, they had to go to town and improvise. He was telling me at one point, Sanchez delivered a hook and blood flooded his mouth immediately. And so he was thinking about how not to, swallow it in, and at the same time how to deal with the
punches that were coming.
The killer in front of him, because Sanchez was a killer. So he suffered a lot, and I think Azumah needs to be even better appreciated than we have. This would link into my advocacy for the sports complex to be properly named after Azumah Nelson, because he suffered a lot for Ghana. I mean, what we are doing for him now is peanuts compared to what the real recognition we have to give to him. So I hope, I know you're cool with Minister Adams, and so once you tell him, it will happen.
Yeah, I mean, you are right. I think we need to properly recognize Azumah Nelson, because this country, we are talking about one of the people who placed us on the map. He was
a great hero.
Yes, one of the first to do it. Ekow, thank you so much.
Ekow, let me ask you, that Salvador fight.
Yeah, Sanchez.
Yeah, that's Sanchez fight. I mean, did Azumah have, just taking it back? He was that good that time. Sanchez. Did Azumah really have a chance in that bout?
Yes and no. Okay. Yes, they recognized he could cause some danger. Even though he got dropped twice, right?
Yeah.
And he went all the way to 15 rounds at only 18 days notice, no training camp.
Okay.
Nobody had done that.
Okay.
Right? Even at some point, Sanchez was fleeing combat. Even after having been dropped twice, Azumah Nelson was leading on the cards of one of the judges.
Yeah.
After all of that, and you know what they did? They made sure Azumah would lose no matter what. So they denied Floyd Kute Robertson his coach. They denied him a visa. So Azumah went into that fight without a coach. There was nobody in the corner for him.
Wow.
It was just a trainer. And no matter how good you are, you need your corner man to tell you what happened during the immediate round you finished. What is the opponent doing efficiently? And what are you not? Yes, you are just. And they say, okay, so we're going to do it like this and that and that. And then you go back and implement it. There was nothing like that. It was just the promoter, Mickey Duff, in the corner. I mean, he didn't have a promoter in his corner. He had 3 trainers who had been with him, knocking out 15 opponents in 5 years. Versus Azumah with no trainer in the corner. So they knew how dangerous he was. They checked his record, but they got to know even more once he got into the States, and they offered him Sanchez's sparring partner, which he didn't know. Once they realized he was that dangerous, and we have to go do him in. They stole his mouthpiece. And at the time, it's a reflection of, I would say, how naive the management was, because you shouldn't go to a fight with only one mouthpiece. But they didn't, they were not aware of all the murky deals in boxing.
The dark art.
That's right. They were not too aware of it. Now it wouldn't happen to any of our boxers.
Yeah. And so that bout was Sanchez's last bout in boxing.
Yes.
Yes. So after beating Azumah, that was his end. After retaining the WBC.
There are a lot of stories about what happened and all that.
Yeah.
The mafia involvement and all that, because he accepted a gift of a vehicle from one of those guys. And they do a lot of betting on the outcome of those matches. And the story is that he was asked to lose a particular fight. Right after Azumah, he was going to fight Laporte, who's a countryman. The story is that he was asked to lose, and he would it, and they eliminated him. That's the story.
Yeah, so he lost just once in his career, and that was in bantamweight stand.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
So he was a very good boxer. Very, 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 very good
if you listen to Roy Jones, listen to Mike Tyson, he's the best ever, period. And these are Hall of Famers talking about Sanchez. Matter of fact, Roy Jones says he fashioned his fight after him, and he thinks there's nobody ever in the history of boxing who beats Sanchez. Period.
Salvador Sanchez, great boxer. Ekow, thank you so much for passing through. Thank you for the wonderful stories.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And for our listeners, be on the lookout for the book. It's on Amazon. We'll share the title once again. Ekow, can I just mention the title one final time?
The Making of Azumah Nelson, a national project.
Okay, so The Making of Azumah Nelson, a national project. Find that on Amazon, and you can get that to buy and order and read and enjoy. I say that there are so many fascinating stories about Ghanaian sports. So these are the things you need to read to know where we've come from.
Exactly.
So we are very proud of our heritage.
That's right.
As Ghanaians and as sports lovers. There's a fascinating story, and there are fascinating stories. And Ekow has told one of the greatest to ever do it, Azumah Nelson. Ekow, thank you so much. Congrats once again on finishing the book. And as Ray said, we accept the mantle. Ray,
That's right.
I'll pray for you.
But you know, Nathan, do you know the so-called Azumah blues?
Yes, I know.
Azumah blues. Have you used it before? But, you know, Ekow, someone sent me a message. Someone said was Sanchez's death part of the mafia as well?
So just related.
Yeah, so someone.
Yeah, some people, you know.
Yeah, that's why.
Because he died in a crash, right? He bashed his car.
Yeah, I that's that story.
Yeah, there's that story.
That he was being asked to lose,
Okay.
and he wouldn't. So they said, okay, let's talk about it. And at dawn, he received a call at dawn to show up, and then so the trainer goes to the gym in the morning, waiting for Sanchez, and kept waiting and waiting. He never showed up.
Yeah.
He never showed up, and the trainer was wondering what happened. He had died. He got killed on the highway.
That's Mexico.
That's crazy stuff there. Crazy stuff.
Oh, and talking about mafia, and it's no different from our history. DK Poison would not have won his title without the mafia involvement. Couture Champon paid the mafia boss then to lead DK Poison into the arena.
You're joking.
Oh, wow.
No, no joke. No joke, because there was no way you're going to beat Ruben Olivares. He had the mafia behind him.
Oh, wow.
Sporty FM.
So you're not going to win that fight. So the state had to pay the mafia boss counterpart to lead DK Poison into the arena, so the judges will know it's not going to happen
Not
to
gonna
him.
happen.
So once they saw him, like, oh, trouble.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, they couldn't declare the result in the ring. Oh, there was bedlam. Oh, that's the other story that has to come out.
Yeah.
That was my first book, DK Poison, my first boxing book.
Yeah.
And that story has to come out again. Yeah, there were a lot of missiles. It was, according to New Amaka, it was part of the reason Atuke Kote died. He got hit in the head. Oh yeah. Eventually, he never recovered from it, and he took his life. So DK was in the dressing room for hours before they were able to announce it. They didn't announce it in the ring. They couldn't. Oh yes. So mafia involvement has been there. It's been there. This account is in my Facebook, and that was 95. I mean, it's not available. So I'll do that too sometime next year.
Sometime next year.
Sometime next
Would
year.
love to hear that story.
You know, I have about 5 more books to write about history in boxing and some of these stories. So the mafia involvement has been there. Even in football, it's been there. I mean, Diego Armando Maradona, when he went to Naples, it was the Naples mafia that protected him.
Yes.
Of course.
I mean,
They tried
Maradona's
to take him out.
involvement. Yes.
Yeah.
With the mafia
He got crashed in a 5-car crash, and immediately the Naples mafia took him. That's how come he started getting into drugs and prostitution and all that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have killed him. So once they took him, they were controlling it,
Yes.
and then they introduced drugs, prostitution, and all that. You know, and then of course, once it starts mixing with your bloodstream, it's over.
That's the high life. That's the high life, you know.
The highlight, literally, but literally
Because you know that in Italy, the giants are from the north. You know, who control fortunes, and the mafia bet on those matches a lot. And then you from Argentina from Barcelona and you want to destroy. You know, so the mafia got involved. So you know, there's a lot of mafia involvement. So that's to shed more light on the question.
So
Yes.
Sanchez, but you know, many believe that if Sanchez hadn't died early, it would have been something else. I mean, you know.
But Azumah would have beaten him.
Yeah, maybe in a rematch.
He would have,
in
because
a rematch
with
proper preparation.
Yes. Azumah took that fight at 18 days notice.
Yeah,
18 days notice. With no training camp, no trainer in the corner, and still went 15 rounds and was leading on one of the cards. I mean, that's not a guarantee though, but given the proper preparations, it could have happened.
Could have happened. Yes. All right, Ekow, thank you so much. Have a great day and all the best. Congrats once again.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.